In this video, we're going to look at how to edit a table. Let's take a look first at the table that I want to edit. So here's my existing table, and I want to go through the parts of the table. This title that you're seeing here is descriptive of the table, and that's called the table caption. And then you're going to look at the various rows and columns in the table. In this particular table, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, and we have 2 columns. We also have a border around the table, which is standard for Drupal tables. That kind of helps define the table. Now let's say that I want to make some changes to this. I first go up to my Edit tab and click that. Let me scroll down here so we can see things. Now if you take a look at your menu bar up here, you're going to see the table icons are here. Here's your Insert Edit table that you used previously to create the table, but all the other icons are grayed out. Those do not become options until you highlight the area that you want to change. Let's go ahead and highlight the entire table. I just clicked on that little outside dashed border, and that gives me what we call the bounding area, or the little anchor points for the table. Now remember, you're not supposed to change the width or height of your table. We want that to fit all different types of modalities for the web, everything from web phones, from iPhones and things like that, smartphones, all the way up to large screen TVs. So don't be changing the width of your table. It will self-fit as you put information in. But let's take a look at what we can change. So I'm going to come up here to the Insert Edit table and click on the icon, and this will allow me to edit a few things. Now I cannot change the rows or columns. If I do that, what will happen is it will create a brand new table and it'll delete my old table. You don't want to do that. But I can do things like change the page alignment. I could change it to left, we'll say, and then I could say update, or I could go into advanced and see I do have my summary in here, so I don't have anything that I want to change there, and say update. And then when I look at this table online, it will be the entire table, but will be aligned to the left hand side of the page. Now let's take a look at other things I can do to edit. One of the things that I want to do is I want to work on my row. So I'm going to come in here, and this is a row here, remember, and a column would be going down here. So let's say I'm in on my Indian Bay campground. I come up here to my icons, and I can click and see the table row properties. If I click on that, it's telling me that it's a body, it's not the heading. And remember, only one heading per table. My alignment is not set. Now the default, and when it says alignment, that's your horizontal alignment, is not set. Let's say that I want to set that to we're going to set it to the right just so you can see what the difference would be. And vertical alignment, you can do top, center, or bottom. The default for vertical is center, and the default for horizontal is to the left. Let's take a look and see what this would look like if I made these changes. I'm going to say update, and you see how everything aligned to the right. Now if I want to undo that, I could use the icon once again, or I could just do my undo command. Okay, so that's one thing you can do, is you can make small changes to the table row properties. The next thing that you can do is you can do the same thing in just a cell. Let me highlight one cell here, click on the table cell properties, and again, not too many things you're going to do here, but let's go ahead and take a look. I could say I want the text to center instead of the default is to go to the left. And so I'm going to say update, and now you can see it centers, which I have to say I recommend that you do not center text on the web. It makes for harder reading. So I'm going to go ahead and undo that. I want to point out one other thing with the table cell properties. There's something here called scope. And the scope is when you want to set a heading across the top and then have something stand out equally on the first table cells of the first column. We're not setting up scope for cells at this time on the Drupal websites. So I would just leave the cell type and scope on the default here. If you go into the advanced, there are some advanced properties here. You'll notice on both table rows and table properties, you can change your border color and background color. We are asking you not to do that for ADA purposes, especially while we're in the interim and moving the site over into Drupal. So please just keep the background as it is, and you will notice that it when you look at it on the web, it'll give you a nice color change from one row to the next and your heading stands out quite well. So you really don't need to do much else to it. But those are two things you can do. You can use your table row properties for alignment, your cell properties for alignment, and then we have some other icons. Here's insert row before and insert row after. I'm going to come in here and click on my Indian Bay campground, and I'm going to say insert row after is what I want. So I'm going to find the icon for that, and I'm going to click on it, and you'll notice it inserted a new row for me. Now I'm going to put some information in here. I'm going over and doing a copy paste from another document. You could type, of course, directly into the document. And there we go. And so now my row has been added. Other things that you can do, let me come up here, that's row before, row after, and this is delete row. Let's go ahead and put a row in before. I'm just going to click in the Rabbit Gulch row there, and you'll notice that I am kind of sliding over my icons. I forget what they mean sometimes too. So what I do is I just scroll over until I get the little tooltip, like this one says insert row before. So there's my row that I'm inserting. Now let's say I put something in here. We'll just put a little bit of stuff in there. And I decide, oh, I don't really want that or don't really need that. I can highlight the row and then come up to here and delete row. And the same thing works with the columns. Now when you insert a column before, let's take a look at this. It looks a little different. Let's say we're going to insert a column before. You'll notice that I'm down here. I'm in this column. If I say insert before, it will go to the left. If I say insert after, it'll go to the right. Let's go ahead. I'm going to do an insert. Let's see, insert. Let's do insert column after because it'll be easier to see. Now can you see where it added a new column here? A little bit hard to get into that column. You can always use your arrow keys to navigate around. But this is what it would look like, and as I put in information, of course, it would open up the column. If I wanted to delete the column, I just go into the column that I want to delete, and there you go. One other thing that you can do, last thing that I'll show you on this, is you can split columns. You can split table cells. Let's say that I wanted to come in on this and add another column on here. I could click into this particular cell, and I'll come up here to, oops, I guess I can't split my cell. Sorry. It's add, I guess the way to do this is to actually add a new cell. So let's say that I'm going to take that back here, but I'm not going to redo the video for you. So here I am, I've got two cells here. I'm going to click back into the Rabbit Gulch, and I'm going to add a column after. There we go. I'm going to put some information in here again, once again. Now what we can do is we can merge two cells together. Let's say I wanted to merge these two cells, but I want the rest of my cells to actually have 3 columns, but this one I only want to have 2 columns. Now that does give you a very strange read. I'm just showing you a function here. That's not really a format that you would use. But let's go up here and see how this works. I come up here and it says merge table cells. So now those 2 cells are together, but you'll notice the rest of the rows still have an individual cell there that you can work with. Now let's say that I wanted to go back. I'm going to delete this information. Let's say I wanted to go back and I wanted to go back to 3 columns. I would come up here and I would say split merge table cells, and now I am back to the 3 columns for everyone. It's usually better to stick with your same number of columns. It's easier reading, but every once in a while you'll have a need to merge a column, and you can do the merging and unmerging here. Well, that's about it for the tables here. I'm going to go ahead and clean mine up a little bit. This is my table column here. I want to delete that column. There we go. I'm going to save my work. Come down here to save. And now we can take a look, and there's my Rabbit Gulch. Now I see I need to go back and do some more editing here. Darn. Oh well, that's how it goes. Anyway, this is the end of the video. Sorry this was such a long one, but there was quite a bit of information.